Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and again, we are discussing the presidential campaigns of the two main candidates of Joe Biden and this time Donald Trump. There's a lot less actually Trump has to do to be able to get elected, and a lot more he has to do to prove his downfall. Pretty much ruin his campaign. There's a lot more he has to do than what Biden has to do, and I felt like the best way to figure out what Trump has to do is to watch some Fox News. And I watched it for about 10 minutes, and it started talking about how Biden was shocked by these electro waves that, like, electro mind things that they were discussing about during the debate. And it's rumored, and that's their discussion points. And they discuss it in front of people. It's on the Gutfield show. And it's like, okay, do you hate this man this much? He's still our president. I mean, at the end of the day, you might not like the guy, but do you have to make your entire show for 24 hours just bashing the guy? You don't have to. He's still our president. Give some nice things about him. And you don't have to ride Trump like a rodeo. Like, it's okay to criticize him a little bit. They never do. That's why I check them out, though. And that's why my first thing on here is for Trump to make an appearance on Fox, specifically Fox News, because I feel like they would not know what to do if Trump showed up on the Gutfield show or the morning news for them. They would have no idea what to do. They would just it'd be an interesting experience. They'd probably faint. They would pass out. They would just be in complete shock. They would fangirl over a 77-year-old man. It'd be interesting. But that'd be a fun thing. I just want to see that happen. But the main things Trump's got to do is, I don't even think he really got to get in the way of what Biden has done. Biden will self-destruct himself. It's like a ticking time bomb of some sort. And the bomb is starting to go off, and we're very, very close to it. You could argue already has. After the first 5 minutes of the debate, it was everyone's mind that if you genuinely thought Biden won, you need to go check. You need to go to your local doctor's office, local physician, and get your mind checked. You need to X-ray your brain and see if you got a tumor or something in there, because something in your mind is not right. Check a mental facility, anything of that nature, because clearly he did not win. And I don't know how, but I checked the polls after everything. And there's still a good amount of people that believe Biden is the main guy. And I think more people are just saying, we're stuck with Trump and we're stuck with Biden. We need someone else. And we'll get that a little bit later on how that's the thing. We're screwed either way. I'm not sure people were like, oh yeah, let's go Biden. The man can't comprehend a sentence. It's like, oh yeah, he can stutter. He stutters. Okay, I don't want an old man that stutters to be our president. Is that the bare minimum? Okay, is that the thing? Yeah. Anyways, this is my next thing. Don't interrupt Biden and answer all questions. During the debate, that will be on September 10th, just don't interrupt. He did that in 2020, but he did a very good job, even though it was a mute mic, just shutting his mouth, even when he had the opportunity to try to interrupt. Most of the time he didn't. I think he only interrupted the moderator once, and that was to finish a sentence that he could have not necessarily needed to. And again, answer all the questions. You got to answer all the questions. He did avoid some, but he overall came back to most of them, I would say. Only like two, I would say, he avoided, which was interesting. Answer the questions. Just stop bashing Biden. He'll do enough on himself. Just give good critiqued answers. Good answers for you, good people, good answers that your Republican Party would like to hear and the supporters would like to hear. And that's all you got to do. Biden will instruct himself. Don't give anyone any bulletin board material to pick at and just start connecting the dots to. That could lead to a lot more than what it actually is. And next thing, put Biden in tough situations. You can attack him at times. You call him one of the worst presidents ever. I thought that was a good thing. Make someone think about it. Even though Biden has a tough time thinking, if someone calls you the worst at something, it'll probably get you a bit. And it clearly got to Biden when he called him a sucker at one point. It's clearly got to him a little bit when Trump is insulting you and he's just going at him. And instead of coming back with critiqued answers, you come back with insults. A very big difference between Trump did compared to what Biden did. And just put Biden in those type of positions. He's insulting you. Biden was the one insulting. Trump was the one giving critiqued answers, which is interesting. Whether they're as factual as he said or not, he wasn't calling him insult. He was going off what he believes, and he had evidence for it. So, yeah. The only thing I'm thinking about, the idea of Biden and Trump being the main two candidates, of course, is that I was actually reading up on some of the polls, and 10% of the polls went to RFK Jr. Yes, that RFK Jr., a part of the Kennedy lineage of presidency. Yes, him. He's getting some increase. He might talk a little bit strange, but he overall gets his point out pretty well. He's not bad. He doesn't have the worst ideas. And he was asked about if he was willing to debate in September 10th, and if he was able to, he would love to. That's his point. He would love to go on the debate and debate with in front of everyone on ABC, in front of Biden and Trump, and mainly in front of America, about what he believes in and why he should be president. This is probably the most famous family in the history of the United States government, the United States governmental presidency, whatever you want to call it. But the problem is, if you want a guy that's the main problem with Biden and Trump, a lot of people are saying they're too old. They're not going to last long. Well, you're going to put a Kennedy in office. We know what happened last time. It didn't go well. And we saw what happened the following time someone tried to. Two of the times they got assassinated. One was president, one tried to be president, which is pretty sure it was his dad. Could be wrong upon that. But bare minimum, it was his family. And he doesn't have any Secret Service. That's something he mentioned. He doesn't have Secret Service. So that's a ballsy move right there. That's like playing with an 8-ball and just guessing each day. Oh, am I going to survive? Maybe. Come back later. Never. Yes. Like, it's that. Every day. But it's worked so far. He doesn't have bad ideas. But it'll be interesting to see. So keep him at arm's length away. Because once he gets on the debate stage, people will be looking at him a lot different as more of a serious candidate than just an independent in general. And also, he's leading on most of the polls. Again, Trump, after the debate, everything went in his favor. You might say, oh, there's maybe a 2% difference. 2% difference is a lot. We have a lot of people in America that like to put on like to vote on the polls and stuff throughout, just throughout the debates and all that. Like to hear their opinion be put out either on ABC, NBC, Fox, CNN, any of those, CBS, any of those networks. They like to put their answers in on the polls. And I saw some things, it was like 48-47, but I saw stuff up to 49-43. I saw 40-33. Again, RFK. A lot of the other stuff, like 10%, and then some other ones here and there. Again, watch out for him. RFK Jr., we should say. But yeah, again, I think keep making public appearances. I think showing up, just showing up to like the UFC events, that does a lot for him. The whole crowd loves him there. And seeing him out there in a public just talking to the favorite fighters, talking to the Joe Rogans, talking to anyone, the celebrities that are there, gets him a connection through a lot of people that he already has with the Dana Whites and all that throughout the world. But it is nice to see a president go out and be in a public area and not get booed. Because I remember he would show up. He showed up to the Army-Navy game a couple times. I remember Joe Biden showed up to a Philadelphia Eagles game and got booed. Joe Biden got showed up to the Eagles game and got booed on national TV. I think it was on NBC. Got booed. That's not a good sight. It's nice to see a former president or a possible president now get celebrated to show up. It's nice to see. It's nice to see. He doesn't even need a debate. That's one of the things I put down. He doesn't really even need a debate. A lot of people are talking about you don't have to debate Trump. You can just stay home, sit on your couch, and these polls will keep going in your favor. The percentage, usually why polls are so important because usually after debates, it's a big change. Usually not a humongous change, but it's usually a bigger change than you might expect between who is the favorite and who's not. Because especially after the first time, because we get a real good look, first time in 4 years, them on the same stage, what are you going to be? And it was a complete difference of what happened in 2020, I would say. Was Biden perfect? No, but dang, he did a lot more bad things than he did okay things. And Trump did more good things than he did okay. See what I mean? See what I mean? Yeah. And then the last one I'm going to mention is keep the momentum going for the Republicans. That's all he's got to do. Keep the momentum going for the Republicans. And that's not that hard. Don't get in your way. Don't make any crazy, just outlandish statements, which he's been good at avoiding. The only times he had somewhat like that, some situation like this when he was president. And even then, it was just the media dissected him for 4 years ruthlessly. At one point, you're bound to slip up at some points and say some stuff that it's bulletin board material, put on the headlines of newspapers, all that. You're bound to have that. I mean, if you put me in front of a mic for 4 hours, for 4 days, you're bound to get something out of me rather than 4 years. So, especially situations presidents have to face. So it's not a huge surprise. Trump, just don't get in your own way, and you should be good. RFK Jr. might be a thing, but you deal with it whenever it happens, pretty much. If he gets a lot of momentum, he's able to be on the debate stage in on ABC on September 10th. That'll be an interesting thing to see. I bet that'll be the better case scenario for a lot of people to see another guy out there. But again, it's one of the Kennedys. a lot of lineage of history upon how they've done in presidential office. I don't think JFK was a bad president. I just said he didn't last long. So that's all I got to say when it comes to that. But put down in the comments your opinions about this and everything about that. Trump, he has a lot of good momentum. I already made a video about Biden. Already covered the presidential debate. If you want to check that out on my channel. Hope you have a great day, y'all. Put down in the comments your opinions. Hope you have a great day, y'all. Stay safe. And then God bless.